Hey guys, Ed over here at FICM Repair. So here we have a commentary from a fella. We've been talking a lot about heads lately for whatever reason. I'm sure it'll be some other topic here in a couple of days, but whatever. So thanks for staying in. But we got a comment. It's really quite good. It's like, hey, I'm going to attempt to reuse my heads. It's a money thing. I'm not going to take third in the sled pulls this year. And what do you think about one at a time or not? I'll tell you, the story is a little bit complicated, right? If you've got commonized heads, if you've got a build date of January of 06 or later, the likelihood of you blowing head gaskets is way lower because your heads are 25% thicker. We've talked about this. If you've got a desire, if as long as you're on board with the concept that, hey, if you go ahead and you do studs one at a time, take out the old bolt, put the new one in, torque it to factory specs, and then go back and retorque this whole sequence to the torque spec of the fastener manufacturer. So like the ARP 2000 is like 210 foot-pounds, for example. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. Just recognize that your heads are warped. It's not a question of whether they're warped. They're going to be warped. It's just a question of how badly are they warped. So if they're only warped, a thousandths, or they're warped 5,000ths or more, I mean, that matters immensely as far as your propensity for cracking your heads just and only as a result of doing them, of applying more torque to the fastener. So as long as you're okay with that, and by the way, this is primarily a conversation for higher horsepower applications, and certainly this guy's talking about sled pulls and not taking third again this year, which I appreciate. So the chances are that he's not running stock injectors, right? So he's pushing harder than the rest of us would have the ability to push. So I've got customers who are like, man, I know myself, and I know you're really a big fan of those 205/30s, but if I have them, I'm going to use them. I promise you I am, and I'm going to blow something up. Sell me some stock injectors. I'm cool with that. That makes total sense to my head. Know your limitations. If you got a problem being on time, to church on Sunday morning, maybe just lie to yourself and tell you the church starts, 30 minutes before it actually does. And that way you can get there 15 minutes late, which is ironically 15 minutes early. So whatever. So this is a know yourself kind of conversation, but recognize the risk you're taking, with the whole one at a time conversation. Commonized or not commonized, you are taking a risk of cracking your heads just in the process of doing this job, period. Now, if you're good with that, great, because guess what? You might not crack them. And if you don't crack them, well, that's a freaking serious win, isn't it? Well, yeah, you don't have to call me up. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to buy heads from me. You don't have to buy head gaskets from me. It's a whole lot faster. All you're doing is you're picking up ARP 2000s on FICMRepair.com, because why would you shop anywhere else? I'm just asking for a friend. And it's just better. Maybe that and potentially some valve cover gaskets, but even those are technically reusable if money's tight. So you take them apart and see how squishy they are. And if they're still squishy, then life is good. And by the way, grab yourself your M6 by 1.0 tap and chase the threads in your rocker boxes, and that way you don't have to run an insert inside your rocker boxes, because that kind of stinks. So at any rate, that's the story. So is there a right answer? No, of course there's not a right answer. It's just a question of what the right answer is for you. So knowing that, now what are you going to do? Are you going to buy some heads, buy some head gaskets, get the lapping plate, get the stone, pick up the ARPs, rocker carrier gaskets, valve cover gaskets, and all the things? Or are you going to go ahead and just try it and say, you know what, I know I can reuse my ARPs. ARP says I can reuse them up to 3 times. Really, the conversation even there is more complicated. It's like, why don't you just go ahead and just measure them and see if they've stretched. And if they've stretched, don't be reusing them. But if they haven't stretched, go ahead and reuse them. So that's what our metric is. But, you got to ask yourself, it's like, okay, if they should fail in the future. I was just talking to a different customer about this just the other day, about you running 625s versus the 2000 studs, because the 625s are some serious cash, and he ended up buying 625s from us, which is fine. But holy sweet Jesus, are they money, right? There's so much cash. And so it's just like, wow, do you want to spend your cash that way? Now, it's a religious discussion, right? How are you going to feel if insert time period here, 6 months, a year, 2 years from now, you blow another set of head gaskets, or you'd be like, man, if only I hadn't done the 625s, I wouldn't be having this problem. probably that's true, right? Or you can say, I mean, because the foot-pound spread, I mean, that's a lot. You think about the extra clamping force between what the ARP 2000s have versus the 625s. I probably shoot a whole different video on that, actually. Let me do that. But, so I'll get to that at some point in the future. But for now, you got to ask yourself, do you want to one and done it or not? And even in this case here, we're using studs one at a time. Are you going to put ARP 2000s in there, or are you going to increase your propensity of not having a problem by putting in the 625s, even though they're more cash? But you said it's a money thing, and someone tells you something, you got to believe them. So that's what we're doing. And so probably you're going to end up with ARP 2000s, which is fine. We sell both, we stock both, it's fine. But hopefully this gives you at least extra things to think about, because there is definitely a propensity for you to crack your heads by doing this. And as long as you're okay, then that's fine. And I would say if your heads aren't warped at all, but they're gonna be, then there's no increased risk of cracking heads. But if they are warped, then it's a question of how warped are they. If they're 1,000th out, the head gasket can absorb 2,000ths, and so it's like, okay, you'll probably be fine. But if they're more than 2,000ths out, that's when head cracking occurs. And so now you've cracked your heads, and now you're in it big time. Now you're buying a set of heads from me, and all the goodies to go with it. So I don't know, guys. Chime in. Give us your comments. Put them down in there. This is we're better together. So I want to know what you guys think. To this guy's comment, would you go ahead and do it? Would you not do it? What do you suppose? And oh, the irony! I just noticed that the pick that I picked up was for 20 millimeters, as if you're already commonized. And these particular ones are Fel-Pro, which is fine. Use Fel-Pro in non-O-ringed applications. If you're ready to run O-ringed applications, please don't use Fel-Pro. Mal, Victor Rents, Black Diamond, OEM, whatever you want, but just not Fel-Pro. And great. Knowledge is power. We love it. We're all in this together. Thanks for listening. And meanwhile, I should share this with you. You're hung with me this long. We do build designs too, right? So if you tell us, hey, this is what I'm looking to do in my build, we can help you design something. Or you can say, hey, this is how much cash I have. What do you recommend? We can help you design something. We do it every day. So whatever you need, we got you. And we can, honor your budget and make sure that you're aware of everything. And, never trying to cajole you or convince you to go a particular path, just giving you the extra options. And whether you talk with me or you talk with somebody on the team, the goal is the same, is to help you, not to empty your wallet. Okay, not with us and not later on the road when you're getting a tow bill needlessly. So, FICMRepair.com. We're all in this together. Thanks very much.